24-Hour News 8's Daniel Miller is there. And Daniel, earlier you told us that you've heard people have actually jumped off their decks to escape.
Absolutely, Eric. 4 people that we can confirm right now, and you will hear from one of them coming up in just a few minutes. But first, I want to give you an exact details on this fire here at the Nottingham Village apartment. Started just after 9 o'clock tonight on the city's east side, 21st and Post Road area. I'm going to move out of the way so you can see firefighters on the scene. Fire out at this hour, but I can tell you that 24 units were in this actual building affected. 50 people lived in the building. Fire investigators are telling us 12 people were affected by the fire. 6 people transported to the hospitals, including 2 people, a mother and her infant. We understand that they are both in critical condition at this hour. 4 people jumped from the apartment building. A firefighter was also injured, and we also understand that firefighters were able to rescue some people off the building. Here's sound from a woman who actually jumped from her 2nd floor balcony.
Somebody said that there was a chair on the other side of the building. Somebody set it on fire. I don't know. And I just saw smoke coming through the door. And when I opened the door, the whole hallway was full of smoke. So I just told my mom and my brother to jump out. I tried to take my birth certificate and my brother's and that it.
So you jumped from the 2nd floor?
Yes. Me, my brother, and my mom.
You and your brother and your mom.
Yeah, and this is the 4th time around the year that happened on the same apartments. 2 times the other side, and less than a month, this building and now this one.
Are you concerned?
Really. I don't want to live here anymore. Actually, it's very dangerous.
And we have just received word from Captain Rita Burris with the Indianapolis Fire Department that the mother and her infant have died in this fire. We just got this news just about 10 seconds ago while we were in that sound with Fanny talking about what happened here at the apartment complex. Again, 6 people injured, 2 confirmed dead at this hour here at the Nottingham Village Apartments. Fire investigators are telling us $1 million in damage. There's also a huge gas leak in this area, so a lot of the people who live in this apartment building have been told to leave until that gas leak has been contained and fixed. We understand also the Red Cross is coming to the scene to help some of these family members and people living in the apartments find shelter, at least until the apartment situation is figured out. Again, 2 people dead in this apartment fire on the city's east side. Stay with 24-Hour News 8 for more on this breaking news story. Of course, we'll have much more coming up tomorrow morning on Daybreak, beginning at 5 a.m. Reporting live on the city's east side, I'm Daniel Miller, 24-Hour News 8.
All right.
As people in the community were paying their respects to Greenfield Officer William Phillips.
He was a really nice man. He did not deserve none of this.
24-Hour News 8 received a tip the suspect who hit and killed him last Thursday morning was getting ready to turn herself in to authorities. And just after 5 o'clock, 61-year-old Sue Ann Vanderbeck of Indianapolis did just that in Henry County. Investigators say she left the scene of this accident on US 40, killing Officer Phillips. This is video of Vanderbeck inside the Henry County Jail being questioned by investigators. As you can see, she is full of emotion. As she leaves the cell block, I tried to get a response.
Ms. Vanderbeek, do you have anything to say?
24-Hour News 8 learned Vanderbeck is the mother of 3 small children, a 4-year-old and 2 15-month-old twin boys. According to the probable cause affidavit, Vanderbeck told investigators she was singing to her 4-year-old, who is autistic, to keep him calm. She goes on to tell investigators as she was going through Knightstown, she came upon something in the roadway. Investigators say Vanderbeck later realized that object was a person and there were 2 other people with him, but she never stopped to help them.
I think the evidence will be that she panicked. She just got scared, panicked.
Investigators say Vanderbeck realized she hit and killed an officer after she saw it on the news.
The reason that she didn't surrender herself earlier is that there was nothing to surrender herself for. Now, that's not to suggest that anybody that gets in an accident shouldn't stop right away, but if it wasn't for Sue coming forward, the police and the Henry County Prosecutor's Office wouldn't have a clue what happened here.
My understanding is she has no prior criminal record. As a result of that, the judge, if she is convicted, the court could suspend the entire sentence.
Brad Edwards is there now. And Brad, let's start with how the woman's doing tonight.
Well, the woman right now is in serious condition. The greater question right now is, how is her baby doing? She was, of course, 9 months pregnant. More on that in just a minute. It's alleged she was crossing the street just a block or so from her house when she was hit. She was then dragged for 100 feet. The driver then, we're told, stopped, got out of his vehicle, pulled her from underneath his vehicle, and then drove off. Another hit and run. Breaking news tonight. Let's go to that video we shot at just about 7:30 this evening, shortly after it happened here on the corner of Maryland and Elder, as you mentioned. Now, the woman, a 24-year-old, we're told, again, 9 months pregnant, in serious condition at Wishart Hospital. The question is, how is her baby doing? And there is concern about that tonight. Doctors at Wishart apparently considering doing an emergency C-section at this hour. We'll have more on that, hopefully be updated in the next half hour, we're told. And here's the key. This driver, we do have a description of what he was driving and potentially even his name. We're told it was a GMC, General Motors make, potentially a GMC Sierra extended cab. And we were told his name, he goes by Nate, and he's a regular around this area. Again, that's the gentleman who it's believed hit this woman, dragged her for 100 feet, pulled her from underneath his truck, and then fled. Police right now finishing up their investigation, looking for that gentleman. When we got here about a half hour ago, we were the Second Wish TV crew here. We talked to this victim's family and friends. We're going to have more on that, her name, and more on this backstory, including some video we just got, some good video of initially, right after it happened, from a Wish TV viewer. We're going to have all that for you coming up tonight at 11 o'clock. For now, we're reporting from Indianapolis, Brad Edwards, 24-hour News Age. The victim before being gurneyed off in cell phone video shot by Wish TV viewer Kenneth Price. Police later plotted the latest hit and run. This, the POI, the point of impact, a jumbling of change ejected from the 24-year-old before being scraped along for 100 feet.
I think she's a good girl.
That, the victim's friend, the driver. Eyewitnesses say he's been seen around here before. His name, potentially Nate.
Well, we're still talking to people here in the neighborhood to see if anyone knows his full or his real name. We're also going to check with local businesses as well as at least one IMPD camera to see if the vehicle was picked up on any surveillance tape.
The victim's brothers sobbed within eyeshot of the point of impact. She's at Wishart. Mom and the baby she'd carried for 9 months.
I hope you guys could get that guy, because what he did, it wasn't right. And he just ran away without helping her.
That's right, Debbie. Certainly a bizarre story here that could very well possibly turn out to be a murder-suicide. But as you mentioned, still a lot of questions about this one. We're still actually waiting for more information from police. Have a look. 2 people shot, 2 separate scenes, one in Noblesville, the other on 465. Police say it started here on Dry Creek Road. 2 shots fired, a woman, the driver of this minivan, dead.
I saw somebody slumped over in the car. I said, it looked like somebody got shot.
Shot, possibly, police say, by the man driving a dark Stratus that they chased down I-69 throughout Hamilton County and onto 465. Police say he shot himself after he finally stopped.
The information that we received from the incident here on Dry Creek is that she was ran off the road by this Dodge Stratus. The driver allegedly got out of the vehicle, fired at least 2 rounds into the vehicle. Witness statements then indicate that he gets back into the vehicle, does a U-turn, immediately flees the scene.
Police not telling us much more than that. Why this happened, who these people are, and do they live in this Noblesville subdivision? All questions we asked, all questions police say they couldn't answer at this time. Neighbors, though, also want to know.
We don't know what happened. We don't know if it was road rage or it was somebody just trying to kill somebody.
Questions police say they'll have an answer to tomorrow.
Something like this happens somewhere else, not Noblesville.
And that certainly is the case, according to police. The last time they had a homicide here in Noblesville was 4 years ago, making this story even more bizarre. This all unfolded literally across the street from a Noblesville police officer's house. For now, we're live from Hamilton County this evening. Phil Sanchez, 24-Hour News 8.
Yeah, good evening to you. It started when a state police trooper was looking for one Justin Williams on a warrant. They saw him, found him with what was believed to be a stolen motorcycle. At that point in time, they confronted him. He grabbed a gun and ran and exchanged fire with the trooper, both of them shooting at each other, running through a neighborhood here on the west side. At that point in time, Williams ran into a house. In the house at the time was a family. They knew something was wrong, so they scattered out of the house, and so began a standoff that lasted for several hours until Justin Williams came crawling out. 742 Rochester, the focus of many a sharpshooter's scope and an armored personnel carrier.
He was chasing this guy, heard about 5 shots fired, and I didn't see the guy, but I seen the cop chasing him.
That's what they heard. It started a street or so over. Follow the shells. A bullet hole in this Chrysler.
I just heard a couple gunshots.
A couple bullets pierced Demir's pickup. He was told the cop used his truck as cover, dodging the perp's bullets.
Not good, not good.
This man eventually arrived, said he was the brother of the hold-up suspect. He was quickly ushered away by police trying to glean any info to end it. And then it was. The man identified as Justin Williams, 34, slithered, not wounded but injured, crawling from the house where he had a neighborhood breath held for nearly 3 hours.
Our negotiators kept expressing to him, we do not want to hurt you. We just want to give you medical attention if you do need it. And we just want a peaceful resolution out of this. So after a very lengthy conversation with him, he did.
And the summation from police at this hour is all well that ends well. They say Williams was checked out by paramedics and then was taken to the hospital. They said he'll spend the night in jail. They'll look into charges, get with us on those tomorrow. The family, we are told, who was in the house at the time, they got out. They're okay. Williams, they said, was injured, was not shot, but injured, and the trooper who exchanged fire with him was also not injured. That's the latest from the city's west side. Brad Edwards, 24-Hour News 8. On his Facebook, after 3 o'clock, David Frisby typed, paraphrased, "The bad lawyers at Barnes & Thornburg Law Firm do not respect the institution of marriage, corrupted my wife, Mary Jane, sex and drugs. It's a tragedy." Shortly after this was David Frisby, a block from the circle, shirt ripped open, high above Meridian, over the ledge.
I heard 3 shots. Everybody was looking out the window, wasn't sure what was happening. We're all in the office trying to get down.
That's when he snapped the picture. Frisby flailed a gun, fired multiple shots, one potentially at him. Shortly after a lengthy interview by police, we grabbed him.
I work at Barnes & Thornburg.
Freeze it there. He's a lawyer at Barnes & Thornburg, where the murdered Mrs. worked, where Frisby aimed venom in his final post. We didn't know it when we spoke. He may indeed have been a target.
I could see in the garage next door a guy sitting on the ledge, and he appeared to me to be loading a gun. To us, he looked up at us, he pointed the gun at us, and he fired 2 shots.
You think he was shooting at you?
We do. We believe that. It was almost as if we made eye contact. As clear as I could see him, he could see me.
911 calls poured in. Shooter on the ledge. A siren signaled the end.
About that time, the police car comes around the corner. He takes the gun. He puts the gun to the side of his head. He fires 1 shot, and I see him fall over.
What are you thinking?
This is probably one of the worst days of my life. Never seen anybody kill themselves.
It unraveled as breaking news. To his rant, friends responded. One said, "I have a bad feeling." Another, "Has anyone heard from David today?" Later, "Has something awful happened? Is David all right?" Finally, no. Turn on news. Meridian Street. Brad Edwards, 24-Hour News 8.